In the enigmatic year of 1999, I found myself in the grip of a midlife crisis, fleeing from the clutches of a soul-sucking career as a management consultant. Restless and desperate for a new purpose, I sought solace in the eerie allure of ancient, decaying structures from bygone eras. Small period buildings, with their secrets and shadows, beckoned me, and I embarked on a quest to resurrect one from the throes of neglect. Haunted by past failures to secure London houses that failed to ignite my passions, I decided to cast my net wider, guided by a spectral whisper from my father. His voice echoed through the telephone lines, urging me to turn my attention to the mysterious Derbyshire, a place steeped in my family's cryptic history. Together, we conjured the vision of my ideal dwelling, an ancient, stone-built edifice with a south-facing garden, at least 2 bedrooms, and an enigmatic workshop. But fate has a wicked sense of humor, as it often does. One fateful night, after an endless conversation about my elusive dream home, my robust father, aged 75, suffered a heart attack, vanishing into the abyss in an instant. I retreated into mourning and avoided auction catalogs like the plague until after the grim funeral rites had passed. When I finally mustered the courage to dive back into the macabre world of property auctions, I stumbled upon Darkmoor Cottage, a forsaken relic hidden in the shadows of the Derbyshire Dales village of Blackwood. It was an eerie creation of the late 18th century, born from the hands of a stonemason who had yearned for both a domicile and a workshop. The place mirrored the ethereal description my father had once woven. The journey to the cottage was foreboding, meandering through ominously named thoroughfares like the Whispering Bridge and Wraithwood Lane. The cottage itself, baptized in the name of a nearby burial mound known as the Haunting Barrow, should have sent shivers down my spine. Still, it possessed everything I had ever sought, crowned with panoramic views of the bewitched shadowscape forest. I was enthralled by its dark enchantment. The day of the auction arrived. Shrouded in an eerie aura, a camera crew loomed ominously, and a palpable buzz buzzed in the air, like a swarm of restless spirits. My heart raced as the hammer came down, sealing my fate with a winning bid that exceeded the guide price by a ghastly £6,000. The realization of my triumph barely had time to settle before I was herded into an anteroom, where a phantasmal chorus of reporters materialized. A microphone thrust into my trembling hand, and a chilling question emerged from the shadows. How does it feel to have purchased England's most malevolent, haunted abode? I had been blissfully ignorant of the house's diabolical reputation, for the description had been suspiciously silent, but the reporters wasted no time in regaling me with tales of terror. The previous owners, Richard and Emily Barrow, who had dared to inhabit Darkmoor Cottage since 1994, had filed a lawsuit against their predecessors, accusing them of concealing the house's nightmarish secret. The Barrows spoke of relentless apparitions, including a creeping presence that materialized from thin air, like a sinister mist that congealed into an impenetrable fog. They recounted tales of sudden pockets of frigid air, damp patches oozing malevolence from the walls, and objects that danced to an otherworldly tune. Their accounts were corroborated by a local cleric, whose investigation unveiled a pungent, shifting odor and a wall that wept tears of despair when touched. It was a case that seemed to bridge the chasm between the supernatural and the material world, the first of its kind since the Middle Ages. Yet the judge had dismissed the Barrows' plight with a disdainful flick of the wrist. As the night fell upon Darkmoor Cottage, my initial bravado gave way to dread. My faithful collie, Shadow, entered the house with trepidation, his hackles raised like specter-seeking antennae. The lights danced a sinister waltz, flickering with malevolent glee. Unearthly coldness clawed at my flesh, and my television, possessed by some eldritch force, cackled to life of its own volition. The paranormal barrage continued. Reporters who ventured into the unholy abode were cursed by malfunctioning tape recorders and possessed cameras. It was as if the very walls had ears, and they wept glistening tears, mirroring the cleric's description of the weeping wall. Darkmoor Cottage itself seemed sentient, a malevolent consciousness testing my mettle, its capricious mood swings toying with my sanity. Yet in all its ghastly torment, I never sensed a malignant entity. In time, even Shadow, my loyal companion, appeared to forge an uneasy truce with the otherworldly presence, and the haunting phenomena ceased. 4 years of eerie cohabitation passed before I reluctantly rented the accursed dwelling. Among the tenants, only one had tales to tell, reaffirming the cottage's sordid legacy. In the wake of that fateful auction, some had prophesied that the house would become my salvation, and despite the unholy notoriety, I owe a sinister debt of gratitude to Darkmoor Cottage. As foretold by my father's spectral guidance, it served as a sinister pivot, bridging the chasm between a wretched past and a nightmarish, fulfilling existence, forever shackled to the malevolent allure of restoring period properties steeped in darkness.